Hey everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be all about the books that I'm hoping to read in the month of April. April is my birthday month, so we're obviously going to think about that a little bit with the 12 to be exact. So obviously some of these choices were influenced by that. I'm also getting surgery on the 18th, so I feel like my vlogs, I don't know what's going to happen. I have a few ideas, I'm going to let you know, and if I'm up for it, I'll do them. If not, I'll push them back. It's not the end of the world, so we're going to think about that a little bit. But yes, as always, a little bit of a ridiculous TBR, but that's how I roll. So let's get to it. Let's start with the Patreon book club pick of the month. It was not that actually that tight, but a lot of people were interested in the 3 books, which I'm glad because I'm hoping to read all 3. Will I have time for all 3? I don't know. I have no idea. But I will, of course, prioritize the winner, which was The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi, which so many people have told me that this is amazing, which I'm obviously really happy about. This is an adult fantasy pirates, older female character, and I believe there's like magic and I want to say revenge. Either way, I've literally only heard great things about it, so I'm really excited. I had started the other book by the author years ago. It's part of my pile of shame, which is what I call the books that I started and never finished for no reason. It was fine. I wasn't even not enjoying it. I just put it down at one point and never finished it. So one day I will go back to it. But we're gonna start with this one because might as well. So I'm really glad that you guys picked that one up. I don't usually offer new releases as an option because I want them to be easy to find, but this is our first, I think. So I'm really excited about that one. And the ones that didn't win, like I said, I'm gonna try to find time to read them, if not this month, later on, because again, I am excited to read them. The first one is the Apollo Murders, which I really like the idea of people having to solve a murder mystery in space. I had read 6 Weeks, which was a little bit like that, like what's that video game? Among Us? It's a little bit like that. So when I heard about this one, which is about an astronaut, 3 astronauts. Anyway, there's a murder mystery. So it's like horror sci-fi. That just sounds really cool to me. I really want to read that one. It's a little bit on the chunky side. I believe the author is an astronaut. I have another book by him, a nonfiction about actually being an astronaut, which one day I will get to. But yeah, that sounds cool. I don't know if his writing style is great or not. I feel like sometimes, you know, an astronaut doesn't mean he's a writer, but either way, I'm definitely someone that can focus on the concept if the writing is not the best. So I'm sure I'm going to enjoy that one. And the last one is Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which this one I bought because of you. A lot of people recommended this one. I've mentioned how much I like witches and I wanted to try to find some that were a bit more, I think this one is considered a bit wholesome. A lot of people disagreed about the cozy, but maybe it's still a bit wholesome and a bit more modern than some of the other ones. I've been struggling to find modern witches that I enjoy. Either way, Coven, witches, fantasy, will be reading this hopefully this month once again. As for the classic that we were reading for the month of March, April, I haven't started it yet. So April for sure, at Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. This is my last Jane Austen. I've mentioned how this is my epic revenge story because it's one of the first books that I've tried to read in English by myself, not in school, and failed about after what, like 2-3 pages. In my defense, Jane Austen is not the easiest if English is your second language, but my edition is pretty chunky, but I'm excited. It's the last one, so gotta give it a good shot. So I mentioned obviously April is my birthday month, so I want to read something that I will enjoy. And one of my favorite books that I read last year actually was I Who Have Never Known Men. And when I picked it up because cover title obviously caught my eye, but I didn't know at the time that this was a translation. So I got my hands on the French original language, Moi qui n'ai pas connu les hommes, and I wanted to reread it. It's pretty short, it's incredibly depressing, so I don't know why I want to reread this for my birthday, but I pretty much never reread books. This is gonna be, I think, the 3rd one I've ever reread on this channel, so kind of tells you something. I'm not even sure how to really describe this, but you're following the story through the eyes of the youngest of the 40 women who are underground, kind of in jail, and they have no idea what happened before. Especially her, she doesn't really remember life prior to this, but some of the other women remember a little bit having a life prior, but they don't know what's going on, what happened, and then one day something happens and they escape. And this is where the story really started for me. And I wanted to read this because apparently I want to be depressed all over again. When I finished it the first time, I just remember staring at my wall for like a very long time. So less than 200 pages though. So, you know, happy birthday to me or something. Speaking of which, months ago, months ago. I said that whenever I was about to get my surgery, I would record myself reading this book, Ice Planet Barbarians, which not my cup of tea. I have never read a spicy book actually on this channel at all, but it's sci-fi. I do like sci-fi. I don't know what to expect. Don't tell me, but I just thought it would be really funny to just live react, like reading it on camera for however long I can manage and just, yeah, have fun with it. And I will, edit it when I'm recovering from surgery and we'll have a good laugh or something. I mean, what's the worst thing? Like, I'm gonna complain about it. That can be funny. And if I enjoy it, good. So many people like binge read this series. I'm definitely prepared for a lot of things that will raise my brows. So yeah, I don't know what to expect, but at the same time, no matter what happens, I think it's gonna be fun. So yay! One of my challenges this year is to finish a series, which I've been terrible at. So we're going to put this book again, because this is all 4 books of this series. I am now at book 3, which is Clay's Ark. Book 2 ended up being a lot more manageable than book 1. This is by far the weirdest series that I've read by her, but Octavia E. Butler is one of my favorite authors ever. So we're going to just read everything she has ever written, and then I'll review all of them for you. I do recommend starting with Kindred. I get that question a lot. It's a standalone, a lot more manageable. This shit is weird. So weird, but it's her, so I'm gonna read it. I don't even know how to describe it, but at the end of book 2, with that ending, I needed to continue, so we're gonna do that. I am also trying to not drag books from TBR to TBR, but I'm still doing it. So I still need to finish this one, The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson, which I have access to the audiobook from the library too. So when I'm recovering, again, we'll flip-flop whatever works for me. Maybe audiobook will be something that works for me. I know some people actually have blurry vision for a couple of days after surgery, so we'll see. I'm not too worried, to be honest. After I've had double jaw surgery, I have no fear of surgery. I feel like that one was pretty up there in terms of discomfort. Also, let's make fun of me. I still have not finished. I have 30 pages left. I just need to sit down and read it. I'm actually really enjoying it. And I don't know if it's because the last couple chapters were a little bit less engaging, or if it's just that I don't want to finish it. Either way, didn't even say it, but Woman Race and Class, highly recommend everyone to pick that up. Super interesting. So good. It's gonna be 5 stars. I just need to finish it. Short little ones, because in between big ones I might want to read something like Galatea by Madeline Miller, which I love her. I need to read this. Sculpture, yes, please, retelling once again. And then 2 small nonfiction, The Master's Tools Will Never Dismantle the Master's House, and then Are Prisons Obsolete? So those are all the physical books. And I was saying how, depending on how I'm feeling, maybe a book will be too heavy. We don't know. So, I have a few audiobooks and then possibly some ebooks. See, this is what I thought. If I don't feel like holding a book, I have a bunch of ebooks that I've had on my library waiting list for months now. I looked, and the oldest one I've had until since September, which is not that bad. But, eventually I need to sit down because there's about 8 or 9. So I might do a vlog about this. I just don't know if it's going to be this month or not. It's going to really depend on how I'm feeling. It's kind of hard to plan, but super quickly, I do have some fun mystery thriller murders, 2 parts sugar, 1 part murder. And there's Peg and Rose Solve a Murder, so, might be in the mood for something kind of wholesome. Murder mystery. I mean, you've seen these covers. I feel like they give wholesome vibes. I do also have The Witches of Moonshine Manor, although I might keep it whenever I do a fantasy, a wholesome fantasy. What's the word? Cozy fantasy that everyone has been in the mood for. I think I'm going to do that in May. I do have If Cats Disappeared from the World, which was recommended to me when the other book about cats made me cry. I do have to eventually get to it. I have A Great Deliverance if I eventually am in the mood for something that is actually murder mystery. Ooh, this one I'm really excited for it. A Half-Built Garden, which is sci-fi, but people were comparing it a little bit to Becky Chamber, which she's one of my favorite authors, so I feel that could be fun. I have The Hole, which was recommended to me. I have a couple like this, so that might happen. As far as audiobooks, I am still planning on finishing the one I'm currently reading, which is Bad Gays, A Homosexual History, which is about actually bad gays, people that were gay but bad people. So far it's very like male-centric, which as history kind of is, to be honest. But we'll see. I'm currently, as I'm filming this, 47% into it, and I'm definitely enjoying it. It's great. Otherwise, audiobooks, like I mentioned, I have The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson I could be listening to, and it's going to depend on what I'm in the mood for, because some of them are quite long, and it's going to depend how I am, but I do want to read or listen to All the Living and the Dead, which is about death, like people surrounding death. So like embalmers, executioners, exploration of the people who have made death their life's work, which kind of dark, but I feel like that's interesting. I'm trying to dabble into, you know, a lot of different kind of nonfiction to let you know which ones are worth it. And that one obviously caught my eyes. So as you can see, my TBR is going to be a little bit all over the place because I have no idea how half of my month is gonna go. So, and even for the first half, I'm gonna be pre-filming because I'm hoping to include a couple videos. Nothing too crazy, but I still want to post videos. And like I said, as soon as I'm feeling better, I'll start vlogging again, like very casually, and then it will leave me more room to just recover. But like I said, I'm not too nervous. Unless something goes wrong, I think I'm going to be back to normal within a week or two. So, plus I have kittens to take care of. So, you know, gotta be in shape. So that's going to be it. Please let me know in the comment section if you have read any of these and which ones you think I should prioritize and what books you are planning on reading throughout the month of April. And I will see you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye.